All right, joining me once again here on the Matthew Filipowicz Show is my good friend Tim Karr. Tim is, of course, the campaign director for Free Press, which you can find at freepress.net and even more so at savetheinternet.com. Tim, thanks for being on the show again, man.
Always a pleasure, Matt.
All right, so Tim, net neutrality is under serious attack yet again. It's always under assault. This time, currently, it is under assault from the United States, potentially from the United States Senate. So, give us the lowdown. What is going down with net neutrality?
Well, at the end of last year, the FCC passed an open internet rule, and it was part of this effort by the Obama administration to create stronger net neutrality protections. And while we at Free Press had a lot of problems with the rule itself, it was a sort of a half step in the right direction. But if you were to ask members of the Tea Party and of sort of more strident elements in Congress, they saw this as yet another effort by government to take over, things that we Americans cherish. And so they with a lot of Tea Party support and the support from hardliners in Congress, they looked back into an arcane process called the Congressional Review Act that allows Congress to reject any ruling put forth by agencies. And the way that they do that is they introduce this process called the Resolution of Disapproval. And that resolution went through the House earlier this year. It was a party line vote with the Republicans saying that the FCC shouldn't have any authority to protect our right to choose, our right to speak freely on the Internet. And it is now up to the Senate to push it through. Now, President Obama has already promised to veto this.
Right.
But who knows what this White House will do, because they've been getting a lot of pressure from industry on this issue as well. So what we have going on in the Senate is sort of a long way of saying that in the next couple of weeks in the Senate, you will see the Resolution of Disapproval introduced. It'll be introduced by Senator Hutchinson of Texas, and then they'll try to move it quickly to a vote, and it would effectively take away the FCC's authority to protect consumers on the Internet, which is sort of like taking away the EPA's authority to limit pollutants that go into the air from pollution-causing industries. We're basically taking the cop off the beat and allowing a few corporations that control Internet access in this country to basically dictate what you get to see, what you get to do, where you get to go when you go on the Internet.
Right. So, historically, though, has this Resolution of Disapproval, I mean, it's something that you don't really hear about. Has it been done anytime in recent history at all?
It has not. And it's very rarely used, and it is kind of a way of slipping something through Congress under the dark of night. And it's got the backing of groups like Americans for Prosperity and Freedom Works. These are groups that are funded by the Koch brothers and other sort of Tea Party-aligned moneyed interests who see net neutrality as an issue that they can organize around. They think that this idea of protecting freedom on the Internet is somehow akin to a government takeover, which is nothing of the sort. Net neutrality, much like the First Amendment, is a rule that protects our ability to speak freely. And as more people in this day and age are using the Internet for any number of ways. I mean, the First Amendment, when you think about it, was really traditionally meant to protect traditional media like newspapers and television and radio stations. But in the era of broadband, we're all speakers. We all have access to this tool that could potentially get us an audience of millions of people. So we need to have the same free speech protections extend to this new era. And what net neutrality does is it prevents the companies who provide us with internet access from discriminating, from blocking where we go to and whom we connect to.